Let's talk about that last Splatoon 2 Direct. To be completely honest, I didn't even watch this Direct live because I knew exactly what was coming. For me at least, it was mostly rehashed info that I already knew was coming, such as new weapons, single player, and all that jazz. So let's talk about the new stuff, huh? Oh, and apologies, I may be talking about these things a little bit out of order, so yeah. Let's start with the local multiplayer. We already knew about it, and we already knew it was going to be a massive improvement from the first one. Does everyone remember the local multiplayer from the first one? If not, let me remind you, you got to pop f***ing balloons. And if you didn't own a Pro Controller, or you gave your Wii remotes away, well, I hope your friends liked watching or taking turns. There was no 1v1 turf war or any of that. It was essentially optionless. So, just that alone is gonna up the game's longevity by a long shot, considering we can do a lot more locally and outside the house. Speaking of optionless, how about those improvements on fashion, huh? I mean, it's still a wee bit limited to me, but for the most part, it's a lot more than we got in the first one. Just the options of hair and pants and skirts is absolutely wild. And more options is never a bad thing when it comes to creating a custom character, so nothing but good comes out of this one. They introduced this thing called League Battles, and it appears to be the new ranked mode with friends? There's still ranked mode for single player, and you can still battle with 2, 3, or 4 friends against players online in league battles, but, and I may have just missed this, I didn't see the option to do this simply on regular ranked mode. So does league battles not give any points for ranked? I'm just a little confused here. All I know is that it gives me a little bit of an Overwatch placement match vibe with that little pyramid scheme they had going on there. But, hey, it's still possible to do something competitive with your team of choice, so I'm not mad. They introduced this new little guy named Merch, and he seems to be the replacement for Spike as far as unlocking abilities for your gear, and he seems to have a lot more options. I like his system more because not only can you choose the upgrades on the gear that you want, but it's some kind of in-game currency. Or at least I'm really hoping, unless I missed something. So you don't have to rely on stuff you earn from Splatfests or for rerolls for something you may not like. Overall, fantastic improvements on the gear customization end. Now my one problem with this is Salmon Run. I'm not talking about the game mode itself. That looks fun as hell. What I'm disappointed about is it's limited and only happens at certain times. Sure, it goes on for about a day, but I don't see the purpose in limiting such a fun mode. Plus, this means that we won't be able to play this offline, so no local or on-the-go Salmon Run. It's not that big of a deal, but I was just hoping to have full access to what I think is the newest and most interesting game mode to play with friends. They're going to have a Splatfest world premiere for this one instead of more test fires. I think this is much better personally, because we get to play for as long as we want for like 4 hours straight instead of 3 hours spread throughout the day. And if we're lucky, we can get a head start on those sweet, sweet winnings for our future accounts. Before that little announcement, they introduced these new idols named Pearl and Marina, and let me just say, we don't need Pearl. Get her rapper ass out of here. Okay, real talk, Marina looks fantastic. Personally, I think her alone could have made the stage, but I guess Pearl is her partner. Something tells me Squirtle Wayne over here is a wee bit controlling based on the newscast afterwards, but hey, maybe we'll come to love her, so I'll give her a chance. I just want to focus on the fact that Marina is an Octoling. A performing Octoling at that. That's pretty incredible to me, but it also makes me question why we still can't have Octoling options for customization. I like her, and I'm glad we're going to be seeing a lot of her during these next few years. I just want that backstory on how an Octoling became a performer when the Octolings kind of have a history of doing the squids wrong. I'm sure there was some racial profiling of some sort going on during that little process, but that makes for one hell of a backstory. The last thing that they covered of relevance to me was Splatnet 2. Why the hell did they add a 2? Why not just Splatnet? Anyway, Splatnet 2 is an app for mobile devices to keep track of Splatoon 2 when you aren't playing, so you can look at things on your phone for things such as schedules, gear info, results of your previous 50 games, as well as gear used by your teammates and opponents in those previous games. Now that last part I just mentioned seems to be the highlight, because if I run into some overpowered player that's beating my ass in that game, I'm gonna need to see that setup to see if I can master something like him. Otherwise, while it's not information that I constantly need to know, it is nice to have and to look at to see the dates and maybe news for upcoming Splatfests, or times and dates for Salmon Run. I think that just about covers everything, right? What did you guys think? Did this direct convince you to get Splatoon 2? Are you more hyped for Splatoon 2? Tell me what's up in the comment section below, and I hope to see you guys all in the next video. Take good ass care, everyone.
I just feel like it's over.